Good morning everyone. In this video, I'll be analysing the live price action for EU and DXY to see what day trading opportunities there may be. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those, then please stick around. Cool, let's get started here on the daily then. At the top is EU, at the bottom is DXY. So what do we see on the daily chart? Yesterday we actually had a bullish reaction, closed out with a bullish candle from these lows here. And obviously inversely we had that bearish candle closure on DXY. Now DXY shows the picture really as to why we had that bearish day. You can see we swept the previous day high, and the previous day we had taken out this previous major external high. So we had quite a lot of buy side liquidity swept there on DXY, and also we had our divergence here which showed some sort of bullish strength from EU because it refused to make a lower low. Now otherwise on the daily, of course, as I mentioned, we have this gap here, this imbalance that's not fully mitigated. So I do see the DXY possibly going and filling this gap. So that's there as well. Now so far today we have our previous daily highs and lows. On EU I can't really tell if we've swept that. We might have. But on DXY we have not swept that, so that may indicate some divergence as well, which is possible strength on DXY. So let's go down to the 4 hour, see what that shows. So on the 4 hour, nice and simple, you can see we've got this kind of leg here. That may be the internal 1 hour leg. Overall the leg may come from here to here. However, now we've pulled back and filled this 4 hour fair value gap. So from that bullish reaction from taking the sell side liquidity at these lows where this SMC divergence was, we had a nice strong bullish day, bullish reaction to fill in this fair value gap. Now price is stalling at this area overnight. We've filled this buy side liquidity imbalance, so price may continue to trend from here. On DXY, we've just maybe missed filling that imbalance, but we also have another imbalance and order block below. So there may be some intention there for DXY to possibly pull back further. We don't know, but it's a possibility, right? We have clearly not taken our previous daily low sell side liquidity, but here you can see we've got almost equal highs between yesterday and today. Now, if we refer to the weekly cycles, if we're in a bearish trend, Tuesday would usually make the high of the week. So we may have just made that high of the week, and that would signal that that's going to be the high and we're going to continue bearish for the rest of the week. So that's just referring to the cycle bias, which is good to refer to because it gives you a helpful bias as well. So yeah, on the 4 hour clear bearish leg, we filled a major 4 hour imbalance, and it looks to be like we're rejecting that area. We'll see more on the lower time frame. So let's go down to the 1 hour. Okay, so you can see where I've marked out that 1 hour leg. We're now in the premium of that leg. We filled the 4 hour fair value gap, and it's also a 1 hour fair value gap and imbalance. Price, like I have here, PDH, previous daily high, possibly swept. I believe it's by like less than a pip, or pipettes as they call them. You can see we've built up some sell side liquidity trend line here as we swept that. So of course that happened during Asia, so it wouldn't have been there to trade any sort of move down from there. Again, if we have swept that or we've made equal highs, you can see that there's some possible SMC divergence indicating that strength on DXY, because DXY refused to make a lower low there or even slightly sweep that previous daily low. Now again, we have the 4 hour imbalance below with its order block, so price may ultimately be drawn down there. We have this sort of 1 hour OB here that's not lined up, so there's some syncing issues in terms of DXY. It's probably going to go into this OB and may make some sort of pullback from this area here, whereas on EU it's a lot further down, imbalance and order block is here, so that's some possible support, that's some possible resistance. But the bias I'm getting is obviously for shorts, right? Now I'll show us on the 15-minute, but definitely there's a bias for shorts, and there's a possible 1 hour order block being created here, right, which we could possibly use later if this candle closes out and doesn't fill this gap. We're in the premium, we've got a short bias, we've already filled a higher time frame POI previous day. We may have swept some buy side liquidity. We've got a sell side liquidity trend line. We've got a POI here which may draw price in, and it's with trend to go short. We also have our SMC divergence indicating strength on DXY. So let's go down to the M15 and see what opportunities may be available at this moment. Right, so the M15, what I want to make us aware of right here, we have taken Asia sell side liquidity, Asia lows. Now usually what happens is once London or Frankfurt sweeps Asia on either side, we tend to go and take the other side out. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because what I'm looking for is shorts, right? So we've failed to close below this low as well, so I wouldn't call it a break of structure. We have some also SMC, you know, we've got this low here and lower low with the wick, and we've got this high here and lower high just slightly, I believe. So it's indicating that pullback. We can see we just may have slightly taken that previous daily high, but otherwise it's pretty much equal highs. So I would love it in order to set up for the short trade if we did take this previous daily high and even this previous daily low on DXY. Now we have the slight negative of we have this order block and imbalance below. So we don't know if DXY wants to head lower and take that first. Either way, it should create some buy side liquidity. I'll get rid of this for now because we don't know if that 1 hour order block is going to hold or be created. Again, we have possible equal highs here or a possible sweep. We've failed to make a break of structure in my opinion because we haven't closed below. So I'm looking for shorts, wouldn't be looking for longs at all until we take possibly this previous daily low. So I'm just going to concentrate on the shorts here. What I would want price to do is come out, take this high. If we take out these possible equal highs, properly sweep Asia high and the previous daily high. Now we could create structure here, but this would be good buy side liquidity in a premium in my opinion. So I would want us to have created some structure already here, break that structure, pull back to our POI, which is left behind, where we created that momentum break of some sort of structure there, and then we can just trade lower. So I'll annotate this out now for us. We would have our buy side liquidity sweep here. We would have our breaker structure somewhere around here from whatever structure was created. We would then have our inducement here from the corrective pullback possibly, and then we would have our order block, fair value gap, whatever you want to trade from up here that was left behind that created that momentum and break of structure. So my order itself would look like this. I would have my stop loss just above the high, and I'd be able to aim for those London lows or the recent low, or some, I tend to aim for 3%, nice and easy. We have plenty of news today to be aware of obviously, or if you're brave you can go for that previous daily low there. But yeah, let's just keep it simple. We can go for those London lows, and that's exactly what my order would look like. That's my strategy, and I think this for me is quite good because it could cause that pullback. Even though there's imbalances here it may respect, that's fine. We'll look into that scenario after. If we pull back now and take this high out, that's that good buy side liquidity that we need. May have some divergence there, but more than likely we'll have sell side liquidity taken from DXY, buy side liquidity taken from EU, and then we can continue with our trend as long as the lower time frame structure breaks and gives us that indication that now we're ready to go short. So like I said, no longs, but if price was to, I don't know, respect this area here, that's fine. I wouldn't want to trade there just yet, just because of these highs and the Asia high still intact. I'd want price to come down and break that, and then we may be able to get some sort of pullback to an order block here to continue going down. I don't want to get too sucked into this scenario, but if price were to respect that, then that's fine, because then we would get the real break of structure here now, and then we'd be able to see what's left behind. So I will clear this out and I'll draw that again so it's more clear, and then now we may get the structure back to this area here to continue lower. So although we're not trading initially from here, we may get an order block created around here somewhere that we can trade from. And then again we would have our breaker structure, we would have the order flow because this high has been respected, that sweep might have already happened, so we have the buy side liquidity. We've respected this imbalance, broken down and pulled back to another order block. The risk, of course, is then that price may actually be coming for this area, which is fine. We might have our inducement there and we would have our order set from here. Stop loss above the highs, and we would just aim for wherever our targets are from this area, but that would be going with the order flow. I prefer to see a buy side liquidity sweep to create this order block for us to trade from. So I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.